And we're back live! Welcome back everybody to Gods vs. Eldritch Horrors Season 2! In this off-schedule session, because, well, in D&D, if there's one thing you gotta be good at, is at scheduling things, because there's always something. There is always something getting in the way of D&D. Life can be an a-hole sometimes, to say the least, and getting in the way of our D&D sessions and our games. Anyway, if you haven't ever watched this campaign before, in here we're streaming already our second season of our very, very chaotic, overpowered game, where we have 4 perfectly broken 2024 characters that act as mythic champions for deities who say that absolutely do not intervene anywhere, except that when they do, they need these guys to be their scapegoat, the reason for some plausible deniability. They are the ones that take the fall in case a deity needs, needs to do something like some dirty work somewhere. And in here we have a party of their champions, which is nothing less than the cleaners, the ones that go to clean up the mess for some deity. And they're also, well, some of them also belong to a social club called the Hellfire Club, where apparently it's very convenient, where there's a lot of gossip, a lot of good information coming and going from this club, and good quests where you can go and be the one to be blamed and take the fall. Or you can just be adventurers being adventurers as part of this club. But it took these guys defeating Demogorgon itself. Yes, the Prince of Demons itself. Which, by the way, they did in spectacular fashion in less than 10 seconds. Talk about overpowered. And really humiliated the Prince of Demons. And for those who have played Descent into the Abyss campaign, is the Descent of the Abyss? Out of the Abyss campaign, you've missed quite a fight. For those of you who spent 3 months fighting Demogorgon, that was quite a spectacle to see. Lots of fireworks. Anyway, but before I get too caught up in a tangent, let's meet our party. Let me start with Grunge, our champion of Loath, currently demonstrating his heroic commitment to survival by repeatedly refusing to die at the worst possible moment. Somehow still on brand with you, Grunge. I mean, you are tough to take down, I have to say. I mean, you've been fighting Eldritch Horrors and still standing. Say hello to our audience, Grunge, and most importantly, today we're starting a new arc. And we're starting 62 days since the incidents in the underground far realm-like temple. So, Grunge, first of all, how did you get nursed back to life? And what have you been doing? What have you been thinking about in these 62 days? Say hello to our audience and please address these questions to us.
I made a list of things I was going to do. And as for being nursed back to health, I choose to believe he's just rather resilient to being beat up all the time. He is a sponge for punishment. But yeah, I made a list of the things that we were going to do during downtime, right? So he's got all the items he found in the dungeon. He's probably going to spend some time identifying those. Probably going to buy some alchemy ingredients to make the different kind of poisons and potions that I didn't have. Definitely buy some folk bombs. Maybe complete a contract or 2 for some extra pocket money. And go visit my god. And suffer. A lot.
You mean Loath?
Hey. Yes.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Congratulations, I failed.
Yeah. How in your view, how do you think she would take that failure?
This seems like a punishable offense. It's into the torture pit you go.
So,
into the torture pit,
what you're telling us
or
is that
given an unreasonable task.
so what you're telling us is
One of
that
the two.
one way or another, you spent the majority of these 62 days being tortured.
Probably, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
They played up some chores and errands, and then spent the rest of it being tortured for failure.
Well, yeah. You still consider her a good boss, though.
No. He's never considered her a good boss. His deal is he wants everybody to suffer as much as he does. So his goal is just to make spread the loath punishment around.
Very
It just
well.
also means he's also getting punished. So it
And for those who helped you, for your companions during that battle, may I ask, do you think you owe them something? Do you have a gratitude debt towards them, or it's just part of the job?
that's part of the job, right?
Very well. No more debts then. All right. And for that one that you've you were there when Belial gave the two of you and Malifactor, the job to go fetch this tome, and if you went back empty-handed, how did that go?
Well, tortured squared.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right. And that's a good segue for our
We're-
next. Yeah, go ahead.
Because we're too useful to outright get rid of, not useful enough to avoid punishment.
Okay, okay. You are useless enough to get punishment, but useful enough not to get deleted.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's just the right amount. And that's a good segue for our next one. Malefactor, champion and agent of Belial, one of the rulers of one of the layers of the nine hells. His N+2 is Asmodeus. So he is a walking contract clause with legs, basically, and he he sometimes spends his time off and his holidays outside the nine hells collecting, I guess, fine print and ancient books and tomes, and sometimes even performing surgery for those in need, or I should say autopsy, as he sometimes keep pieces of alien anatomy just for, I guess, just for the sake of his personal collection. Malefactor, say hello to our audience. Tell us a little bit about, how the last 62 days have been. How did your boss get the report? Do you have did you have a performance review, a bad performance review at the end of this mission? Tell us a little bit about what you've been up to.
Well, hey, good morning, guys. Malifactor. After we got back, with my mind feeling like a little bit shattered a bit, I did go back over. I went to Gorbin, although we couldn't get the book as an alternative form of payment. He gladly accepted. I gave him that large diamond that was like worth 25,000 gold, apologizing that hey, we couldn't find the book, and I guaranteed you a wish, but would you accept that as an alternative? Thankfully, he did. So our obligation to promise Gorbin something's been fulfilled. When I got back to Belial with Grunge, I made sure to bring gifts, because of course I know my master, if I don't give him the thing he wants, I still have something in return. So I got over to him, and I gave him the report of how we went over to that Archmage, we searched his tower, I also talked about like the unknown temple in the Far Realms. I mentioned how there was Redhot, Gorbin, Grunge, and I, and how we fought this monstrosity that was playing with our minds. I I told him as we saw what looked like the book in a mage's hands controlling that monstrosity. After we defeated them, somehow the book must have had a contingency on it and it disappeared from us. I think whoever was expecting us and they had something planned in place to stop us to get you the book in his hands. And as I apologize, I take out 3 items. The first 2 are gifts. I give to Belial. I give him an Archdevil quill because, as an Archdevil himself, only he deserves something that matches his title. It's a powerful quill that his voice can now be written in words. And then for his daughter Fierna, I know she rules the Nine Hells with him, but I know I served Belial. I got her this obsidian hourglass. Flows in moonlight, but honestly, it's a beautiful item that understands the value of time just like her daughter does. The last thing, as I finish our report and apologizing that we weren't able to get the book, I bring out that obsidian plate I cut off from that aberration, and I say, well, I at least took a piece of the monster back with me, and whatever they were planning to do, it seems like they're trying to bring back, I don't know, someone as great as the gods. And I don't know what this material is, but it's something that I want someone to investigate. It was dense and it was almost impossible to cut. It took hours. And I'd probably end it like, while the book may have disappeared after all of us searching the temple, high and low, if there's another lead, please let me know. I feel like there's other forces beyond us in the Far Realm that want to prevent you from receiving this book rightfully so. And I don't know how he would take that, Legend, after giving him the report, giving him gifts, and just being honest that I believe, because since I failed my insights, that none of us have that book, and that book disappeared because we were in the Far Realm.
Well, according to what Grunge just told us, it seems that he definitely took well, since he just punished you for a good part of 62 days.
I did receive some punishment. Yes, any time but failure. I don't think mine was as bad because I brought gifts for Belial and Fierna.
Yes, the butter 'em up strategy.
An Archdevil quill and an obsidian hourglass. But I told him the truth that we don't know where the book went, but I believe there are things greater in the Far Realm that are preventing us from grabbing this book.
Farewell.
Since
Well,
my
I can tell
my
you
punishment
that
wasn't as long.
I can tell you that you've been
Go for it.
you've been you've been used with the kind of punishment that they distill in the Nine Hells. I would expect that your punishment was much more effective and much more torturous to you as a being from that plane. So let's just say you spent some time in a plane made of rainbows, unicorns, and cupcakes, where you had to be uncomfortably hugged and loved all the time and kissed, and it made you nauseous and wanting to vomit every single second of the day, as you couldn't understand how such creatures can exist and how can they be so gullible, is how can so idiotic. And yes, their celestial perfume alone would make you absolutely go insane, and that is true torture for a devil.
Why am I in such a nice world when I'm used to everything killing me?
But please
And
continue.
then I'd say as we finish up the torture, I'd probably want to spend some of my time, because I don't think I had as long as the punishment duration for giving the gifts in the report. I'd probably go shopping. I'd probably go to the Nine Hells Casino. I would just go and do like regular things because my mind wasn't the same after that temple, and I'm just shifting between thinking about that book a lot in my dreams and just thinking what is real, and I just need to do something normal. I just need to feel like I'm home.
Very well. Shopping and casino therapy. Yeah, that works even for the mortals, not just for the devils. Some say it works way too well, and that's why some of these mortals ended up playing with devils after they passing. Very well. So, anything else you would like to mention, Malifactor, about your time off?
Let's see, getting the rest, getting punished, betting all on black. Oh, yes! A good devil likes to play pranks. Went to the mortal realm. I got to utilize my sovereign glue. I glued some unfortunate sucker to his chair, and he owes me a favor. I used my universal solvent to free him from his chair. That's one way. Ka-ching. I got a favor.
Sovereign glue, the utmost prankster weapon in D&D. That's I have to say, you have a bucket of those, and you have a truly broken thing to throw at your enemies. The character that learns to make sovereign glue and shoot out of a cannon is definitely gonna have fun in D&D. Very well. So. And even devils, look at that. Even devils can find some good bargaining with that, and find ways to do. That's a good. I agree with you. That's a good way of take your mind out of things. And then we have Gorbin, our champion of Hecate, our wizard of questionable judgment and excellent interior design, and some may say. Even doesn't bother with the design at all, because his Temple of Gods had been recently transformed into a tentacle and eyeball Cthulhu chic type of installation, and yes, he began treating the unknown green goo like a tasting flight at his temple. Gorbin, say hello to our audience. Tell us a little bit about, how are you feeling, what you've been doing, how is the new aesthetic of the temple boding with you, and the goo barrels as well, and what have you been doing in this past 62 days since the last arc?
I don't know what you're talking about with all that. I do remember I had a weird dream about a giant cuttlefish and some snakes. But for the past couple of months, I've been at a monastery run by the Order of the Waning Moon. They're a wonderful group of monks. They're very friendly, very, very scholarly, fantastic brewmeisters. And they let me peruse some of the rarer volumes in their library, which is great. And I studied with them some of their techniques for the creating of fine libations, which was great, because along the way, I worked up a new thing. I made a thing, calling them boozy shrooms. It's delicious. I took some of these hallucinogenic mushrooms that the monks grow, and soaked them in grain alcohol for 3 days. You got to get just the right amount of saturation. That's important, and they're delicious. And they let you see colors that just didn't even exist before. And also, you can hear the colors, and you can taste them, and you can feel what they're feeling. My favorite one is called Shroozle, and it feels a bit wistful and melancholic, and it sounds like the rustling of the leaves in the endless forest, and it tastes like lemons. And I gave a half of one of these fun bites to a local cat who lives around the monastery named Scruffles to see what he thought of him, and he he died. But it's all right because I resurrected him. But now he is afraid of mushrooms and he refuses to talk to me.
Just a follow-up question, just quick follow-up. You had a talking cat, and you managed to kill it rather than becoming a millionaire with it?
I have a spell called Talk to Animals, and I use it to talk to animals.
Okay. Well, that seems like
He was a pretty ordinary cat. He's actually a bit mangy and cantankerous, if I'm being totally honest. Quite rude.
quite rude for a cat. I mean, what would you expect of someone named Scruffles? I mean, with that name, anyone would have a bad mood.
Yeah, he was aptly named.
Yeah. Well,
Named himself that, by the way. That wasn't what the monks didn't call him that. That was what his name was.
oh, he wanted
himself.
to be called Scruffles.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And he so pedantic he would correct the name if someone said it wrong. It's not Scripples, it's Scruffles, it's Scruffles.
Well, I mean, when the monks would be, because the monks called him Fluffy, but when they would be giving him belly rubs and such, if they called him Fluffy, and they were within range, he would scratch him. Very, very ornery.
I see. Wow. Scruffles, the grumpy resurrected cat. He has quite a story. Quite a life story. But good to know. Good to know you made a new friend. Or at least temporarily, you've made a new friend during these 62 days. And there are some monks out there that can make some decent brews, folks. That's another thing we've learned. And now there is a new type of booze in this multiverse, which is boozy shrooms, which apparently can kill you if you take it a little bit too much. The kind of stuff Grunge would appreciate.
Strictly speaking, they're alcohol-saturated hallucinogenic mushrooms that are poisonous. Or at least they're poisonous now. I don't think the original mushrooms were, but after Gorbin gets done preparing them, they are technically a poison.
Wow. I start to understand why you and Grunge have so much to catch up on. I mean, the topic of poison seems to be a common hobby among the two of you. Very well. And then we have our champion of Timora, bringing luck and larceny, especially larceny, and no officer. The grimoire was like that when I found it. I never even knew this was a grimoire. No, I never caught it. My God, she knows how to lie. If that's one thing we've learned in the last session, she can trick even the most cunning of the devils. That, hey, stop looking at my square butt. It's not a book under my skirt. Is just the way my butt looks sometimes. And yes, she managed to lie her way into pocketing the tome that apparently they came. I mean, what we think is the Soulstone Grimoire. No one had a chance to confirm yet because turns out she hid so well that no one actually managed to identify the tome. But it seems to be something powerful, something that contains informations about how to become an Eldritch Lich, how to summon one of the most powerful ancient creatures in the Far Realm, and all sorts, trivial things that you find in any book. And well, she I have to say, with your concealment techniques, I I can barely tell you are a bard. I mean, you are a better thief and rogue than our thief and rogue in our party at this point. You should be opening a course. Redhot, tell us, in the last 62 days, where did you go? What did you do? And is the book still with you? What happened with the book? I mean, I'm sure the audience wants to know. Well, you guys spent the whole first arc of this campaign looking for something, and only to see it stolen above the table in front of your eyes. Redhot, say hello to our audience. Tell us a little bit about what you've been up to.
Right. Hello, everyone. Yeah, about that book. Damn book. I don't know. It was bit strange vibe that I got from it. You know, I felt like the book itself was whispering to me, and I just I don't know. I had to get rid of it. I felt like, yeah, it was stronger than me, and I cleanly kind of hid it on me. And I mean, I won't pretend there wasn't a moment, okay, maybe two, standing there afterward, realizing that I'd basically outplayed my own companions, my friends. But I guess luck isn't fair. It's not equal. It's not shared, so it chooses, and that day kind of chose me.
Talk about rubbing in.
As for the rest, those 62 days, well, divine favor has its perks, so I may have celebrated, you know, new letters, lighter, quieter, a blade there, and, you know, for my simulacrum, a few trinkets, some potions. Just went for a shopping spree, and maybe a few indulgences as well. Why not? Some good wine, some good company, a gaming table or two. I feel bad, perhaps a little, but I don't regret it, because if Lady Luck offers you the winning hand, I mean, you play it, right? So,
wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, if Lady Luck offers you the winning hand, you play it. Wow, that's definitely a quote for you guys to remember. Those of you who may still have some resentment, although in all fairness, in character, your characters have no idea that this happened. At least, not yet. But yes, and by the way, what did you do with that book besides the shopping and casino, which seems to be something you share with Malifactor? What else did you? What happened with that? What did you end up doing with it?
Well, my intent was to deliver it to Lady Luck herself, so I'm not sure if that happened or not. But that was, yeah.
So you actually, in these 62 days, would have delivered the book to Timora?
Yes.
Quite nice. Very well. Okay. I'm going to tell you guys some things that have been happening with you in the past 62 days. You have discovered that you have some strange abilities. Some might say abilities to bend the rules of this multiverse in your favor sometimes. Some of your abilities have seemed to become more powerful since you've returned, or since you left, or since your experience in that underground temple. It seems that some of you may have been developing special abilities. Shall we call them macro abilities, which are like a combination of all your signature moves to make them even more powerful. And yes, slowly but surely, you all have been discovering them and discovering that you thought you had a cap to your powers, and now you've discovering that some of your powers are stronger than ever. Maybe it's a reflex or a quirk of going beyond reality itself, and or maybe some of that strange energy, some of that entropy may still linger in you, just like good old radiation. And for our audience, if you don't know what happened in the last session, let me give you a quick recap before we jump in tonight's session. We picked up mid-chaos inside Gorbin Temple of the Gods that he summoned, which had fully committed to becoming a Cthulhu-themed hallucination. You had tentacles where bads used to be, eyes in places they don't belong, an atmosphere that says, this is fine. This is perfectly fine. It's just normal. And then you guys did what the Hellfire Club does best. You jumped the cosmic horror, the undead failed summon of Cthulhu. They almost resurrected Cthulhu, or almost reincarnated Cthulhu. Finally hits its limit and collapsed. Finally, the initiative ended, and the room stank of victory. And somewhere in the distance, I guess God pretended they didn't care, or many of them. As all of you were performing some autopsy, and you spent quite a few hours doing so on the body of this failed experiment, only to extract what seems to be some sort of gland that was inside the brain of this failed reincarnation summon of Cthulhu. And the big threat was down, and you went full loot goblins on everything, except that the loot in here was curse knowledge and wet anatomy, and after carving into the grotesque, and found a glowing gland that nobody seems to be talking about in polite society, and you also discovered that the Soulstone Grimoire, or what you thought was the Soulstone Grimoire, seemed to have disappeared right in front of your eyes. Maybe it went to a different layer of reality, just like Gorbin, for a few moments. Maybe it was absorbed by the ground. Maybe something else took it away. You don't quite know what happened to that, or at least you didn't in the last session. And you try to inquire your friends about it. Hey, did you by any chance saw like this book that had this stone on the cover, and had some eldritch glitches on the cover, and had all these glitches, had all these eldritch glyphs on the cover, and all these and all these inscriptures, and looked like really, really powerful, and was just right there on top of those dead worms on the ground, and had this strange eldritch aura surrounding it, and then suddenly it was just right there. But I don't know, did someone get it? No, it turns out that it was just there, and then suddenly became something else. It seems that Redhot took that book and stealthily took it with her, took a little read. She managed to find some time to read in a corner where nobody else was looking. She took a sneak peek at the book, saw some spoilers, and she found there, instructions, instruction notes, and signatures, and a very specific vibe of I can make you important, and I can do it in ink, and all you had to do was to sign the last page of the book, which she didn't, and all the others also had some similar visions, in fact, and in the last session, where they saw themselves carrying the book and how powerful that book was, and apparently, if you sign the last pages, you become a sort of an emissary for the Cthulhu himself. And it showed how powerful each one of them could be. I mean, they would dwarf the gods that today they're champions to. Their power would be beyond the comprehension of the multiverse as it is. And Cthulhu would come and consume all and leave only enough for it to regrow anew. And they saw all of that in different ways in their visions. But turns out that none of them took the bait. None of them decide that, you know, I might sign up with Cthulhu. I mean, some of them consider it, but ultimately decided against it. And yes, it seems that with that, we ended up last arc with them joining Gorbin in this disgusting goo-filled temple. And then, you know, I guess you guys tried that gooish booze that were coming out of I don't know. And then there were eyes and tentacles, and the whole place smelled like worse than that abomination from Cthulhu. So yeah, quite a nice end of arc. And here are we, 62 days after after fading to black, and cutting to the present moment, where I have to say, sleep doesn't come normally to you anymore. Not since the temple. Not since you have seen that book, and that has been in the back of everybody's head. On the 62nd night, your dreams snap, just like a coin flipping, and after flipping lands on its edge. And you stand before an infinite cylindrical spire, smooth as glass, and you see all the different colors of the different layers of this place. And I'm getting a message that I'm getting disconnected, and I hope not now. Wow, quite a timing. As you look up, this place looks, well, built for gods. Infinite, endless. The different layers and doors and arcs on each layer seem to merge with the different layers of the multiverse itself. The walls seem at the same time solid and ethereal. You can see stars glowing in them. You are, for the best of your abilities, you are in the middle of what you would think is the middle of the multiverse. There is no door where you came from. There's only a seam in the air and arcs at every layer out of this infinite place. You, strangely, never been here, and yet you recognize the place. A strange déjà vu feeling. Gravity here, it's more like a suggestion. And inside, there is this amphitheater of impossible scale. You hear the sounds you make here echoing through every layer, above you and below. The place is filled with presences. Presences that, rather than bodies, feel divine. You sense the presence of gods, dragon gods, devils, powerful cosmic authorities. You see astral projections floating, and, well, it seems correct, because they would never actually come in person, because you start to realize you are in a sort of conference, maybe a deity kind of conference. You start to notice that This place is full of presences that remind you of your gods, and some of them even more powerful than those that call you their champions. At the center, on the top, you see forming out of these stars as a very detailed constellation, a smile. It's almost as if the astral smile from the tower walls. But you've recognized that smile, Redhot. That is Timora. And as she smiles, she starts to talk to this entire spire with a voice that echoes, with bright and calm. It's like a friendly breeze before it turns into a hurricane.
Welcome. Welcome to one and all. And before anyone asks, no, this is not a coup. And if it were, you would already have been lost anyway. Yes, I summoned this forum because there is something happening, something stirring, something has deceived one and all of us. And it concerns each and every one of you, those that agree and those that disagree. We all share the same existence.
You hear this soft laughter and smirks and little bursts of doubt echoing throughout the place, as if some of the presences of the gods that are in here seem to be finding that particularly amusing or exaggerated.
I call this forum because I've been giving something. A piece of knowledge. A grimoire. But some may say a receipt for acts that should not be possible in our multiverse.
And her eyes, her starry constellation eyes, look down upon the three of you, floating in your astral forms in the middle of this, looking around, trying to still comprehend what the hell is their Hellfire Club doing in the middle of this. I mean, you guys are the bodyguards. You shouldn't be in the middle of the audience. You shouldn't be drawing attention of any of these curious eyes from the astral plane. And she looks at you and says,
This Hellfire Club. Well, they seem to have seen what it does. What this knowledge does to a room full of you. For centuries, we repeated the same bad time story from our father. Don't look toward the far realm, it's dangerous. It's madness. It's outside the wounds in his scriptures.
and you've noticed her tone of voice changes a little. It becomes a bit more sharp, still polite, but now she has an edge to it.
And we obeyed, blindly, because Ale told us to. And he told us that the overrule was not to ask questions, not to wonder, not to let curiosity take over.
And now you realize that the audience is silent. All of them have realized that what she's talking about. Some may consider heresy. Some may consider treason. She's criticizing the overrules of the one overgod that created all of you. You are all a fruit of his will. She's challenging the one, the first one. And she stops and smiles, but this time different smile than the first one. Very tense.
And this is precisely why we are all unprepared.
You hear murmur beginning, 1,000 divine instincts flaring at once, whispers climbing up and down the spire. And she continues.
This grimoire speaks of entities older than our etiquette and our protocols, older than our titles, things that do not require worship, that do not bargain for fate, that do not care who sits on which throne. It speaks of a hunger that doesn't want your domain. It wants you.
And the room, the entire spire, quiets down again. Her hand, made of stars and constellation-like outlines, lift up just for a blink. You start to sense taste. The air in here, if you can call it that, tastes like salty now. It tastes like panic. It tastes like fear. And you can taste it.
We have been kept blind on purpose. And I myself am done playing alone. I've been given free will. And I'm using it. So here's the question. How many more cults, how many more copies of this knowledge are out there trying to open doors that we've pretended don't exist? And if something on the other side of these doors decide to walk through, which of you is willing to admit that you have no plan?
As she leaves the question to linger mid-air, any of you would like to react to the fact that you've just discovered that Timora has a grimoire that sounds a lot like the grimoire you were looking for, and that if it doesn't take much for you to connect 2 plus 2 and realize that your friend Redhot, champion of Timora, is probably the one that retrieved that book for her. So, it might be coming the moment of realization for Gorbin, Grunge, and Malifactor when they realize that it turns out the grimoire was not lost. It was not in a different layer. It was likely with Redhot, who handed over to her goddess. And now your failure is even more embarrassing to those that you report to. So I'll give you guys a few moments to, absorb what Tamora is saying to all the other gods in this multiverse, in this all gods summoning forum. And also to react to the news that your friend may have betrayed you just a little bit, may just backstabbed you just a little bit.
Just to clarify, so Gorbin is seeing this as well, or is there as well?
All of you are.
Because you
All
said
four-
earlier that it was the Hellfire Club, and also you mentioned
Yes,
said the three of us. earlier.
Apparently she's putting you in the middle, You
Okay,
walk with
just-
them,
just-
eventually you get the same label.
Gotcha. All right.
So, this is after the 62 days, right? Or is this before the 62 days?
After the 62 days. At the end of the
After?
62 days.
Okay. End of 60 days, we get summoned. Okay.
I mean, you've been tortured. You've been sent to a plane full
Pardon me?
of celestials, and some of you have been forced to hug nice unicorns that smell like love and cupcakes, which is probably the worst possible punishment you could ever think for the devil. And some of you have gone through a lot. Well, some of you didn't suffer that much. Some of you were just, testing new types of booze. But the other two, well,
yeah, Gorbin had a great time. He got paid, and then he got, and then he spent a whole lot of time drinking.
So all of our downtime stuff happened, right?
yes, everything you described has happened.
Okay, so I just need to add some items to my thing. And I now know what certain items do, which is nice. Because those would be useful right about now.
Is that the same for me with my items?
Yes, you can update your inventory, but you guys don't need to do housekeeping right now, as you kind of in the middle of a very tense moment, guys.
Yeah, I think Gorbin's gonna look over in the vague direction of Redhot, and it does actually make a lot of sense in hindsight. I think I got a vague recollection of she did a big magic fart, and it's what happens and can happen if you hiding magic, necromancy tomes improperly. If you're improperly stored, they can have problematic effects on your insides. That would explain it. I think she snuck it, or one of them did. One of yous, one of the fancy librarians. That would explain.
What's the rules on beating up party members?
Wait, we're in astral form, right? We don't have items on us.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Because
What
we're
are
in a
the rules?
room of oh, sorry, go for it.
What are the rules on beating up party members? I might need to, throttle Redhot.
Can you
Can
do
you
physical
throttle it?
combat in the astral, in astral form?
You can.
Who knows?
You can fight creatures in astral form if you're also in astral form, and you can potentially hurt them, but you don't really have your items with you. There are certain items that you carry over with your astral form, yeah. But in here is more the presence
Does
of
my
your
book
souls.
count as
So
one
if
of
you-
those?
Well, if you punch someone in the face, they're gonna feel it. If that's what you're asking, but if you if you're looking to pull your sword and start cutting heads in astral form, that's not gonna happen because it's just your soul here.
No, I was just asking if Gorbin's bug counts as part of his soul. Not for the purposes of combat, just for the purposes
If
of drinking.
Gorbin's mug count as part of its soul, yes.
Of course.
I mean, it's his
It would
holy
be it
symbol,
would be
right?
I would be yes. It's his holy symbol. Is it's at this point it's just part of his hand.
At some point, I might need to get you to use some of that sovereign glue to just make that permanent, like official.
I don't think you want one hand always holding that.
I mean, it already is. But anyway,
Well, I would be mad and violent, but probably not fighting, just because I realize we're in a room full of overpowered deities, and I feel like if I do something violent, there is a lot of power here to erase me. But I'm going to glare at Redhot, and I'm going to say, what was the price you achieved for that? For everything?
Redhot, was that a price?
Was there a prize? I mean, I didn't think it would come out like that, to be honest. I thought I was being clever, and when Tamora whispered to me that she made it clear that the book was meant for her, I kind of convinced myself that acting first was the right move, and that kind of would spare you the burden. I basically thought that it would somehow protect us. But truth is, I also wanted to be the one she chose, so I stole it because I believed it was the best outcome. One clean choice instead of conflict between us.
What did you receive for your favor?
I'm not entirely sure, Legend, if I got anything for that.
As far as you know, you got a lot of street cred. a lot of good rep with your boss. Yeah. I mean, you're definitely gonna get a good bonus this year.
you see, this is why you can't trust librarians. They're very sneaky, very quiet, and they're always hiding all the good books where you can't find them, in keeping the secret knowledge away from people. Can't trust librarians.
I mean, I won't undo what I did. I believed in it then, and I still believe that giving the book to her was the right call. But the way I did it, and keeping you in the dark, that's the part that I regret. So if you're angry, you've earned that. Just know I never acted against you.
Do you know the consequences of what happened? Failure is not tolerated well in the Hellfire Club, even when I bring gifts to appease anger.
No.
Torture that two of us had to suffer. I don't know what may happen to Gorbin. He told me he can barely speak on anything, but I assure he probably got the same thing as us.
I had a lovely time.
Ugh, in that place, it's awful. Everything's too nice. Additionally, I was the one who had to make that report. And it looks like that's new information. You didn't even get anything in return for that while we were promised something. I know we've fought powerful beings, and I appreciate you taking down that monstrosity that seemed like a tower. But it's hard to think we can act like a team and such when, in the reality of it, we all just have different motivations. I'm not gonna hurt you. No. That would not make me feel better. That was not what's just. But I will never forget what you did.
Is getting very tense. Would anybody like some boozy shrooms? I got some right. And he goes to reach for them and realizes that he's astral projecting and doesn't have them on him. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Forget I mentioned it.
I acted for what I thought would keep us together, and I'm really sorry for the situation that you guys are in and that I put you in.
I feel like fate has brought us together, whether we agree or not. Like, look where we are. Conveniently, the four of us in this unknown place, seeing, what are these, gods? Talking? No mortals would be over here. Why us?
As you talk about fate, the first voice to interrupt the silence after question from Tymora was raised is that of the goddess of fate, Istis. Well, at first you don't even know who she is, who's talking. But as the first words start to echo through this place, you feel a stillness, as if your whole body was in a stasis, frozen. There's a sense of loom, of something so powerful you can't even see. It fills you all with a sense that it's almost like you're trying to contain your emotions in your... I mean, you could cry. As she speaks, you sense the power of 1,000 destinies in every single word. As if a simple wink from her could move mountains.
You speak as if this is new. The threads have been tightening for a long time. But beware. Pulling at the tapestry can unravel the weaver.
You sense there's no threat in her tone. It's a word of wisdom and a word of inevitability. As she speaks about, as if she already knew of what Tymora was talking about. And then, Malifactor, you hear a familiar voice. A voice of your boss's boss.
Delightful. Delightful, truly delightful. Our ice is large enough to require cooperation among all, and vague enough to justify authority. Oh, delicious, delicious. I propose a containment regime by the aboard's enforcement mechanisms. And actually, we need custody of the artifacts and a jurisdiction capable of disciplining everyone else. I think it's time for harsh measures. It's time to change the order. I welcome this news, and I welcome your concerns. Yes, Dimora, yes. Yes, I completely agree with you for once. You bring words of wisdom, and I have to say I underestimated you. But here are you, with a sight that would make Isthus envy. Oh yes, you say you knew about this, Isthus, and yet you kept your mouth shut. And now here are we all so unprepared. But of course, difficult times demand harsh but necessary measures.
And that was Asmodeus.
I think in mid-talk I would like stop and look right at it because I went like I recognize that voice.
The voice comes from below, from far below into the spire. You can't even see, but you see the glow of flames every time he speaks.
Gorbin's gonna say in a low whisper to the others, "Yeah, I've met that guy. He's very rude, very rude."
Gorbin, I'll give you inspiration.
Can I like insight that?
Yes, you can.
Or perception to see if I hear that?
It is a part of his backstory, but yeah, you're welcome to.
You mean insight, not perception.
Oh, sorry, insight.
Yes. You absolutely think that he's telling the truth. After all, why would he lie about this?
I'm just gonna pretend I didn't hear that comment. He's my boss's boss. I'm a little sad.
And after Asmodeus, you hear a laughter like silk, just echoing through the entire place. As she says,
"Oh, so lucky little goddess who wants to scare the room into unity. How noble. Talking about the Hellfire Club. Well, it's good to know that the incompetence of those who serve me has more of an explanation than just incompetence. After all, what got the grimoire in your hands seemed to have been sabotage. And it's interesting to see how someone of your caliber, someone to try to uphold the laws of probability and chance in our existence, can actually skew the house in your favor and play dirty when necessary. And yet, still use your hypocritical eyes to judge all the rest of us who know the truth and are honest about our nature and intentions. Tell me, Dimora, how many betrayals did it take to get that book into your hands? Oh, because I knew there was something interesting when I sent the Hellfire Club there. But then, to find that you is next the MacGuffin out of my subjects' hands, and so easily, I applaud the capacity of those who work for you And yet, are we just going to avoid the elephant in the room? Are we just going to pretend that you acquire that through legitimate ways and noble purposes? And we should just believe in your good intentions. Why do you hold something that powerful in your hands? Who can say you haven't yet already been corrupted? Who can say this is all just a part of a larger manipulation by someone who clearly knows how to pull these strings as well as I?
Grunge, that was the voice of your goddess. Any reaction to that, Grunge?
There's intense contemplation going on.
How are you reacting to this? Grunge? If you're talking, I can't hear you.
Oh, me?
Or I got disconnected. Yes.
Yeah.
How are you reacting to this?
Hello?
Yes.
I don't. Intense contemplation. Right? I'm not really sure what the reaction to this is. It might just. I don't think I can interrupt because that'd be a problem.
I mean, you are in this conference just like everybody else. And every time you guys whispers, you can hear the whispers of others, so you imagine others can also hear your whispers echoing through this place, although they might not be able to distinguish what you are saying, but they can still hear the echoing through the entire spire.
I think I'm just gonna kick Redhot in the shins.
Very well. Roll
Just
on
right in the shins, like this is your fault.
Roll on an arm strike against her.
19.
You try to kick her, and you see her hair moves around as your foot just misses her chin, just for like a centimeter. Redhot, any reaction? Any reaction to that strange aggression coming from Grunge as he tries to, kick your astral self into the chin?
Grunge, keep it together. There's so many people around. After this whole thing, okay, I'll let you punch me one time.
He's just gonna grumble and just stare at her, staggers.
He suffered so much just like I did.
It's not just people. They said there was an elephant too. But I haven't seen it yet.
I've only heard of one elephant, but he's this nice cleric somewhere I met.
Yes, there's an elephant in the room somewhere. And it doesn't take long for you to hear the voice of Hecate, Gorbin, as she interrupts this as well. And she says,
Oh, so many secrets. Oh, you are so offended, love. I feel so sorry for you. You're such a good person. You doesn't deserve anyone to be so unfair with you. Oh yes, all of us have to play fair. Why do you play dirty? Oh, I feel so sorry for you. Oh yes, they keep secrets. Oh no. Anyway, secrets kept to prevent panic are still secrets, Darmora, but secrets kept to preserve comfort are a kind of negligence. And I have to say, I have to kind of agree with some that have been speaking here, that if the realm holds power that rewrites magic itself, then I quite frankly think we should study it carefully and learn it, and we should do it quietly and with words that are strong enough to survive the lesson. And we should use this knowledge. You know, we should use the knowledge we have of our enemy to outsmart it, to outplay it. We shouldn't interrupt an enemy when they are making a mistake. We should just let them come. But then, let's be prepared. Let's use the knowledge we have it against them.
That's
I
right.
mean,
Preach. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
oh, Gorbin. Sorry, I barely even noticed you were there. Let him show. You still getting your astral form, so cute. Look at you. Gorbin, don't you think that we should take a gamble on their signing as a heist gamble? The entire universe might be, but Gorbin has a mind that is, one could say, is almost unbreakable. I mean, he's constantly inebriated, if not outright drunk, and he's, and he has survived the trip to the far realm, so perhaps he could help us. Perhaps us gods of magic can try and decipher this. And I know you criticize AO, but he's kind of a sweetheart. I would love to ask his help for this, and I think he would be understanding if we fear that his creation might be attacked by these ancient beings.
I only caught about half of that, but everything that I heard was spot on. You know what's up. Whatever, 100% for whatever she was saying. All the way. Yes. That's my lady. Boom. She gets it. She gets it. She knows what's going on. And she's always right. Every time.
I will say I kind of resonate a little bit with that. I mean, I do agree we should, put our forces together and study that and how we can use it to our advantage.
But at what cost? I don't feel the same after going to that temple. The longer I was there, the worse I felt. It's like that place naturally eats away at your existence.
That's why you should be drinking more.
I can't get drunk.
You.
I've tried.
That's horrifying.
Out of character, I'm immune to poison, that's why.
Yeah.
And in the astral sea above you, you see an anvil. And the anvil turns into two, and each anvil turns into the pupils of two massive eyes, patiently gazing towards the direction of the spire center. You recognize that beer, Gorbin. That is a dwarven beer. A well-groomed one, I must say. You have never seen one that is so well kept. I mean, it's truly divine. And he starts to talk, and you recognize a voice that you think you heard once in your life, when at very early on you thought this was a god worth following, and then you discovered it wasn't. At least not for you.
You talk of lies. Talk whatever you like. I will be building. I will be raising fortifications. I will be raising shields. I will be making weapons that fight things that don't believe in fighting. And if any of you misplace that book, I will know, and I will come to crush you. Your hands are not strong enough to resist my hammer and my anvil. I think measures are necessary to preserve this creation. I don't care about your bickering and your politics. I don't care that you all think that you can just play image or make the best of this opportunity. Nothing like that will change the outcome of what is to come. You heard Istus. If she's seen it, if she knew it, that means it's inevitable. And all we can do now is to change the present. Wouldn't you agree, God of Time Almighty? Is it inevitability of fate, or is there a chance to destroy and hold these creatures at bay?
As he raises a question to the god of time, a dragon that all of you actually came to know quite well in the last season. One of you was even a close friend, some might say, a champion of Chronapsis. And
Good times.
Good times. And you hear Chronapsis answering to the room.
This is not the first ending proposed in this hall, nor will it be the last. If the far realm presses closer, time will not save you. Time only records what you choose. Those who live beyond our reality live beyond the laws that we control. They are as old as ale. They are outside time and space. They may have already happened. They may be inevitable. Time plays no role against these entities. I have no power over them.
And when you hear the god of time telling you that he has no power over Cthulhu, and the four of you being four creatures that have experienced, I mean, in your mind, but you have experienced the presence of Cthulhu in your mind, how do you all react to this? I mean, I'm curious to know, how are you all taking all this information? I mean, you've been in the presence of one god, and you've been awe-struck by that god, and now you're in the presence of so many of them. I mean, Moradun talks to Chronapsis, and you heard from Istus herself, and Timora is summoning this, and I mean, but you guys have experiential knowledge of how Cthulhu presences feel. None of these here ever met Cthulhu, as far as you know. None of them saw what you've seen. That might actually be the reason why you are here, among the presence of these deities. Because you know things that they don't. So how do you react to all of this?
You see, just like the giant lizard said, it's why we gotta do Hecate's plan, because it's the best plan. It's a good plan.
For me, there's two things in my mind. One, understanding Asmodeus, my boss's boss, agrees with Timora. I'm like, alright, I guess that makes sense. The other part of me thinks, like, even if the god of time can't do something, we saw the image, something is preventing that massive creature from entering in. And if time isn't the answer, what is? Because if he's that almighty being, he could already just do that, but why does he wait? Why is he asking us to join him? What is what has been fulfilled to allow him to enter fully in this area? And I'll say, in character, I'm going like, well, he hasn't made his true appearance yet. Something must be preventing him. Other people are trying to bring an aspect of this creature. So if it's not time, then what could it be? And that's how I would rationalize it.
So are you saying this, are you rationalizing this out loud or just to yourself?
Well, I guess the first... Sorry, I'll let you know what I say out loud then. I know I just said a lot right there. I guess the big thing was, and I'd say this, that I've seen images in this aspect of this creature, and if time has no power, why is the Far Realm acting now, and what is preventing them from fully crossing over to our existence? And I look to the others and like, we should focus on preventing that. What are they trying to fulfill to allow their power to fully seep over here?
Exactly, and that's why we should do what Hecate was saying, and we should study it, and figure it out. Get all figured out, so we can stop it or control it or put it in a little box or do something with it.
Someone else would need to study. You guys saw that image. It shook my core when I saw it. The more we try to study and look into this, I feel like the less will be. I can't even think straight at times.
So big ol' squid in a big ol' ocean, and it was terrifying because it had wings, and if you put wings on a squid, what's even gonna happen? It could go anywhere. It's terrifying. It's got all them tentacles, scoop people up, do all kinds of nonsense. Unacceptable. Can't be allowed.
And that mage brought just a spark of whatever that thing's power was, and it couldn't even control it. So are they trying to find an aspect of that creature to get into to get where we are truly, like a gateway?
as you two are talking, you've realized that the words that you say echo through this place, and the gods and the deities here seem to be paying quite close attention to your whispers and to the things you say. They may have just realized that you know something that they don't. And you hear the first one of them saying,
Now those are very useful questions. I don't know the newcomers, and I assume they work for some of you. But finally, I have to say, this is a threat worthy of the noise. I mean, let it come. Let the skies split. Let the old rules break. Because either we die or we prove we were never as fragile as our worshippers think we are. And maybe we are deserving of becoming more, or becoming the true keepers of a storm that comes to our coastline. Perhaps this is a test by the All-Father. And those seem to be the right questions to ask. Why now? If the creatures live outside time, as Chronexis has said, then, if it's inevitable, what is preventing them from coming right now, during this conference? Taking advantage of our common presence and just siphoning the divine essence out of all of us. Something is keeping them at bay. They might have a weakness, just like a storm can be stopped by a big enough blast. Maybe this one can also be stopped.
you guys have no idea who this god is that is speaking to all of them.
But I realize they're hearing us.
Yes. And you hear a follow-up one who waits silently until the whole room, the whole spire is waiting to hear who is going to talk next. Thought seems to be, and silence seems to be definitely a game that the gods like to play. And the next one to speak says,
I agree with Talos. To the point where we should be asking the right questions now rather than turning within and attacking each other. Another war among the gods will only makes us weaker. Accusations against AO are not proof, however, and I don't think they are harmless, Timora. Present what you know, name what you fear, and understand this. If you, or any other one of you, incite war among the gods without cause, justice will find you too.
now Redhot, that seems like a threat against Timora. And you have no idea who that god is, but the previous one you think was Talos, since he mentioned it. And one more.
Right. Yeah, it indeed.
Go ahead.
No, not important. It did indeed sound like a threat.
If
Can I make a Sorry.
If-
Can I make a religion check to see if I can identify that deity?
Yes.
By like, he mentioned justice coming for people, so I'm thinking it's probably some kind of god of justice. So
Yes. You can roll a religion check to make a deduction in that. Yeah, that's pretty good.
There's
38.
a
38's pretty good. Yeah. I mean, it's not a 40, but it's pretty good. And and you think that's Tears' voice. The god of
and
justice.
okay, all right.
But can I when yeah, sorry.
No. Go ahead.
Was just curious, when he finished his speech, I would kind of like look at Timora to see her reaction.
So Timora's face is right now a face, an expressionless semblant in a deep in the astral sea. You can see an outline as if designed by stars, as if she was a very detailed constellation. And you, as you look up, you can see her in this astral sea view that you get from looking at the walls of this place. This place feels, at the same time, it feels like a very large spiral, and yet the walls feel infinite, because when you look at the walls, it's like you're looking at the night sky. At least the walls, some of the walls around you, some of those walls feel like you are looking straight into the flames of hell. So there's no reaction in her face. She just listens calmly, as it seems there is a sort of decorum to this forum where the gods speak their piece and wait for the others to, move their pieces as well and show where they stand. It's almost as if the gods are playing chess and you are here watching. And maybe you are pawns in this, or maybe you are more than that.
They seem to respond to us when we were talking.
And you hear one more intervening.
If we've been blind, then we open our eyes. It's just simple as that. I am hopeful. I am hopeful, almost to the point of defiance. We don't meet darkness by surrendering to it. We meet it by building something brighter. That it can swallow darkness.
Oh my god, I think I'm gonna vomit. Oh, wow. You always had to be so condescending and so indebted to a tender. My god. I'm hurried. Oh, this is so so distasteful. You are oh my god, you're such a douchebag.
Out of character, I'm glad Asmodeus was speaking what I was thinking.
Your words
Do we?
come from beneath me and they don't hurt me. You foul, fallen creature. I am talking to those whose ears deserve the light, and those who perhaps are strong enough You face this threat, not those who linger in the scraps of the multiverse.
I'm sorry.
do we,
if you have a sentimental, emotional differences among yourselves, can you take it offline? Because right now, I would like us to keep focusing on the point at hand rather than on personal disagreements. I would like to hear those who are in those who are here, and their opinions. And I think we need to try to be constructive.
Go ahead, Gorbin.
Yeah, I was gonna ask above the table because I'm losing track of which voice is which deity. So which one was the one that was all sunshine and rainbows?
Latender.
Wait, did we have we heard from?
You heard
that one
from
earlier.
So
or?
far, you heard no. So far, you heard from Hecate, Istus, Asmodeus, Lolth, Chronapsis, Latender, Tyr, Talus, and Moradon.
Okay. And Latender, is that one that we would recognize? Or is that like, should I make a religion check?
It's God of Light, right? So probably.
Yes.
He's
So
one of the big ones.
yeah, so it's the god of birth and the dawn and the light and rebirth and youth and he's he's a polar opposite to Asmodeus, where Asmodeus is lawful evil, he's lawful good, and that's why you've seen that as he's been so pedantic, Asmodeus was reacting to him. So you know it's Latender because Asmodeus said, "Do you always need to be so condescending, Latender?" And this kind of thing, and called him a douchebag.
I missed that. Okay, gotcha. All right, just checking.
It's kind of funny for out of character for Loth to be here, because it's like, yes, you know, like the great gods and devils, and then there's just kind of like Loth over there, who normally wouldn't be invited to speak. Just like, look, a minor god has snuck into the conversation.
That is a good point. I roll an intelligence check for your character.
Because my
or an investigation.
Is,
an investigation.
It's the same roll, ironically.
Very well. So
I'm assuming she's here because Grunge was directly involved.
Exactly. You start to realize that the person who was invited or who was summoned to this meeting was you. And she's just here because she's your boss. Which means at this point, in this audience, you have more prestige than she does.
That's an interesting thought that I will not mention to her, because that's a great way to be murderized. It's like, oh, she just immediately snapped out of existence and devoured by spiders. However, this is also kind of Grunge's goal, is to, you know, elevate her. So he is, you know, by proxy doing that.
No, I get you. Belial's not here. That I don't see what Asmodeus is. My boss's boss, so I technically serve him.
And Belial is not here, but Asmodeus is. Yes, indeed. Or at least you haven't heard from Belial yet or felt his presence.
It'd be fun if he was Asmodeus' +1.
literally the assistant to the regional manager.
Yes, indeed. Very well. You are hearing from all these different deities that you never had even the honor of being in their presence, and clearly you guys must have something, and you all start to realize this. You either must have or know something that they are interested to hear about. No one is directly asking you, but every time you talk or you talk among yourselves as you're whispering, you do start to notice that the room goes quiet. It's almost as if at this point you have more credibility than Timora herself. They all seem to know that you are somehow the group that retrieved whatever knowledge she has. I mean, everybody here already arrived at that conclusion after the comments from Loth and Asmodeus and Timora herself. And
Wait, one.
So there, you are the unlikely group of individuals, the unlikely party that kind of unite the different points of views in this place. I mean, you can see that the gods can't get along among themselves. Your bosses, or however you want to call them, your deities, don't necessarily get along among themselves. There's a lot of bad history, let's say, among them. A lot of resentment and spite among them. And you seem to be somewhat of an unlikely unifying factor. The four of you are pulling threads from the different sides of this discussion, and you stand together. Despite the fact that some of you want to kick the others in the face, you still being seen as this Hellfire Club. And you're still being seen as this group of highly capable individuals, that highly capable champions of gods that somehow have managed to go to a place where, as you just heard, the gods don't even dare to think about. They don't even dare to ask. Ayo told them not even to look that way. That knowing about it can make you mad. Well, you know that that's kind of true. If not completely true. As some of you have come back from that place madder than you ever been. And now the four of you stand here as a strange connection, as a strange unifying factor among all this dissent. And in the middle of this, all these arguments and the different opinions, somehow the voices go quiet. When you speak, you sense almost as if you had or you're starting to discover you have this unknown respect and authority almost over these creatures. As if, I mean, you know what you're talking about. And when you talk about something, they just be quiet. I mean, you didn't know you had this street cred, this reputation, with these high-ranking individuals. But it's starting to become more and more obvious the more they speak. It all seems to be kind of surrounding you. You wonder, are they trying to influence each other? Or are they trying to influence you and your decisions? Since it seems that you are the ones that ultimately can do something about it. So you start to think that perhaps this whole conference, this whole theater, this whole conversation is to influence what you are going to do next. I mean, it's quite a strange change of mindset. You feel like, wow, you are now swimming with the big fishes. And the big fishes are, well, they have some untold respect towards you and what you've been through. I mean, you've done something that they can't do.
Legend, do I suspect Belial did not give this information to Asmodeus? Because in my off downtime, I reported this to Belial on what happened on the mission.
Well, you know enough about Belial to know that if there's one thing he avoids talking with Asmodeus about it, is his failures, or the failures of his subjects, or of his generals, or his subordinates. So yes, he doesn't advertise his failures upstream.
Oh, thank goodness. That's the only benefit I get.
As
Actually, more relieved.
And as you stand here, more voices start to intervene. The next one resonates with some of you, as if you had heard its whispers, as if this voice had said your name before.
If something devours gods, it also devours the structures that guide the dead. And that is not liberation. It is chaos without freedom, without release. If this is true, then I must agree it must be contained, not for our sake, but for the balance after us.
Gorbin, you can roll religion.
Okie dokie. Boop. 35.
You think that's Kalimvor, the god of death.
Gotcha.
And
I was just gonna say that Gorbin's gonna take a big ol' swig from his astral mug at the sound of that voice.
And then you hear another one jumping in.
Then, let's tighten the watch. Let's guard the portals. Let's follow the cults. We should establish sentries and consequences everywhere. It's hard to believe that what I'm saying resembles the suggestions of those beneath me. But we should not let panic become permission for recklessness. We should take measures in order to monitor and surveil our realms. We should make sure that a truce, a ceasefire, happens among all the outer planes until all this volatile, all this watching, until we know we are safe and defenses are enough to keep these at bay. Then I say, we should build And I have to say, I don't agree with the how, but I do agree with the what. The what needs to be done. For what? The old horn and hooves has said in this chamber. Yes, I agree with the what, but not with the how. I don't agree with your methods. How delightful! How delightful! How? Oh, I am so... Oh, thank you. Thank you for the compliments. I am truly honored by your support to my initial thought. I mean, I would think you would come after me and have a thought of your own. No, of course, you have to echo my ideas and pretend that you have a better one.
So now you know that was Helm.
Gorbin is gonna raise his voice and address as much as possible, just kind of address the assembly. If I may be so, I would like to make a suggestion. If I could just get the attention of assembly. First of all, I just want to say that this place could do with a proper bar, because there is nothing to drink around here. And he takes a giant swig from his astral mug. And secondly, I would like to point out that there was mention of an elephant, and I have not seen it yet, which makes me think that it is being hidden, and that is animal cruelty. They need space to roam, and there's plenty of space here. Just let it wander. Just let it have its space. Now, that brings me to my third point, which is that there's a plan on the floor that is clearly superior to everything else being suggested, and that is what Hecate said. So we should listen to her. She gets it. She knows what's going on, and she is always right. Y'all should listen. You should listen to what she says, because she understands. She's the best. Hecate.
Thank you, my dear. You said better than I could ever ask, and you are so eloquent. And I have to say, it's just... I am so proud to have you as my champion. Such loyalty, yes, indeed, I have to agree. My plan is better than everyone else's, and everybody should listen to me. I completely agree with that.
Yep. All day. Every day. Hecate.
Malifactor's gonna look at this.
That's our new slogan. All day, every day, Hecate.
Magic is now like how she sells magic on her infomercial.
All day, every day, Hecate. That's awesome. Very well.
What can I say? Gorbin is the best hype man.
I can't believe you just said that to all those gods.
Oh boy. Malifactor, you wanted to say something?
Yes, looking at Gorbin in the assembly and going, oh my god. I know you're drunk and you're playing suck up to your god, but the elephant in the room is yes, looking for answers, but I don't think Hecate knows it all. We've been there ourselves. We've seen the visions of that creature destroying this multiverse. And the best defense is an offense, I'd say. As I've heard many of you go back and forth, I don't hear another plan, as what Asmodeus has said. I think preparing for it and also understanding it are the best ways. Besides, why only defend when this can be weaponized? Surely there's a lot of potential to this, and that book is just a start. Heck, that book has a lot of unknown information. And that's just one measly book. Imagine what else there could be. Though the cost is going to be great. The more you look into that world, the more your mind will shatter. Good thing you have us.
As you say that out loud, you realize that the room is very quiet. And as your voice echoes, you feel almost the weight of the judgment of all the gods. Just so much pressure. You feel like you could implode. You almost gulp as you feel the pressure of a million eyes looking at you and judging you. I mean, even in the Nine Hells, you don't feel this sort of pressure. Damn.
Is it as bad as that image that we got of Cthulhu?
It is much worse, the pressure you're feeling right now. You feel like if you say something stupid here, it's gonna look bad for Asmodeus, and you don't want to make Asmodeus look bad, so you're just hoping they don't think what you just said was stupid.
I said it with confidence. I believe that's what I want to give as a character description, not as like a passive thing.
Excellent. You say with confidence. Let's see if internally you are crumbling. Roll a charisma check for us. Just a flat charisma check. That should be easy enough.
Oh, just not a save. Okay, charisma 18.
So you say that with confidence, but inside of you there is just a little bit of doubt about how is this, because Asmodeus is completely quiet, he's giving you nothing. So you don't know.
Could I have guarded mine to help me out with that since that helps with intelligence, wisdom? Oh wait, that's saving throws, never mind.
You've Asmodeus is giving you nothing, so as the room gets all quiet after your words echoing, and you can hear them coming back to you through the echoes, you don't know how the reception was with Asmodeus. I mean, you're 90% sure it was okay, but there is 10% doubt in you.
9/10. That's actually better than I expected.
And then you hear one more voice.
Fear is not strategy, but neither is denial. If this threat is real, then mortals are the first to suffer, and we must act to protect them together. No games.
And you can roll a religion. Gorbin, if you want to know who that was.
Oof. That one was rough. Only 22.
Given how blunt their speech was and how focused it was in protecting the mortals, you think this may have been some god of protection and justice, maybe Bahamut. You were like 80-20, it's Bahamut. And then, yeah, go ahead, Grunge.
Oh, nothing. I think I need to head out in like 5 minutes. So just that's all.
Very well. Let's well, that's a good call. Let's while you guys think about how you want to react to all of this and how you want to, take that in, and as you were seeing, the whole building the whole assembly seems to be revolving around what you were saying and what you were about to decide, and each side seems to be trying to influence your group. Somehow, you're feeling that this can go whatever way, whatever direction you guys agree. It seems that you are the ones holding the decision here in your hands somehow, and which is oddly unsettling, as you're not used to be the ones the gods come for counsel. You are the ones they come to, to come and do the dirty work for them, and it seems that they are all trying to pull their strings with you four. So while you all take that in and absorb that, let's take a quick bio break, and we'll be back in 10-15 minutes, everybody.
All right.
In that case, I need to run because I have other things to do today, sadly. But I was here for most of it, so I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the session, and I'll see you all again.
Thanks, Grunge.
You too, Grunge.
We'll see you later. We catch you later. Have a good one, mate.
Everyone, I give my star to Gorbin, by the way.
Thank you.
Later on. All right, goodbye.
All right. Is everybody back?
I am.
Here, yeah.
Gorbin?
Yep.
All right. Okay.
Yep, I'm here.
Very well. So, while we were in the interval, it seems that Lolf may have thrown a little tantrum, and she said to this audience, "Oh, let me bring you guys to the map. I realize you're not there. Let me bring you back." Very well. She says to this audience,
Grunge, this is all a waste of our time. They're not gonna do anything. They are not gonna move a finger. They're all gonna continue to play dirty in their little games and pulling their strings while they're gonna put others to do their dirty work for them. So that if there is any risk to whatever it is to be done next, it's probably gonna come upon you. And the rest of it. So, I'm leaving. This is a completely pointless assembly. I don't see how this is going to achieve anything. Grunge, you should come as well. After all, what is the point of you staying here if I'm not here?
and you hear just silence after she says that. And Grunge stays in the room quiet, just looking as he seems a bit puzzled if he should join her or not. He doesn't actually know how he got here, so it might just be that he doesn't know how to get out. As you all are in your astral forms and you have no idea how you leave this place. Very well. You guys had some time to think about how you want to address this assembly and what you want to do. And there is there are a couple more interventions that happen. In fact, not a couple more. One more intervention that happens. And he says,
"Oh, I heard all of you. I see what's in the horizon. I see what the distant worlds bring to us, and while the horizon's as close as ever, if this thing comes and it doesn't just end gods, it will end all journeys, it will end the horizons, it will end choice. So, how about this? Let's just name the cults, map the paths, and then we cut the roads before the travelers arrive. Wherever they are coming from, we cut their roads. They can come here. If their cults are not doing something, if this Dawn Timora says, can bring the creatures, what happens if there are no more of these stones? What happens if there are no more cults? I mean, we cut their roads, and they can't travel here. And then the horizon goes back to be in the far distance. And everybody goes back to have choices.
and Gorbin, you can roll a religion for that one.
That's another 38.
I mean, a god talking about horizons and roads and choices.
Yeah, I'm guessing
Very-
that's Farngal or
Farlan.
Farlargan.
Farlan.
Farlarg. Yeah, sorry. I can never remember how it's pronounced.
Farlan. And Farlan is the god of travelers and roads and horizon and choices. Which many don't understand exactly what that means, but being the god of horizon means being the god of possibilities, which makes him almost as powerful as Istus, and as an equal foot at least. And he's suggesting that the way to do this is to find the cults and to find the other books and to stop them before anything happens, and to stop them from ever summoning this creature. So, to sum up the situation,
I guess I'll pipe.
Yeah, go ahead.
I guess I'll pipe up on some after I hear this as well. You just make a point. It was a lich that was working with a mage to resurrect that god, and they needed the book, and they were working with outsiders. Sorry, that's all I'd say. Like, I'm just like just saying that to myself. I'm not saying it like to General Assembly, but I'm just saying that to like my group.
Very well. And you say that, and kind of again, you hear that every time you guys whisper something, everybody goes quiet as if they're trying to listen to what you are saying. So, to sum up, the gods that you heard here talking today in this assembly, you of course heard Timora. as she kind of criticized Ao for his rules and for keeping the gods ignorant about what's in the far realm, and to say that none of the gods were prepared for what was to come, and she asked if they would admit they have no plan, or if they would decide on one, and to align that this is a common threat to all of them. You heard Istus saying that she actually knew this was coming, and I'm paraphrasing here, and that this is something that's been coming for a long time. But if you try to undo the tapestry of fate, sometimes you are the one that is undone with it, and almost as if it's inevitable that this will happen, and you may interpret that whatever way you want, but that's the goddess of fate saying that. And then you heard Hecate saying that, I'm paraphrasing again, that we should use the book in your favor. You should learn as much as you can from this knowledge, from this forbidden knowledge, and use it in your favor. Use it to outsmart and outplay the creatures that are to come. To use their knowledge, the knowledge that they provided against them. You heard Asmodeus, who is kind of saying that difficult times, difficult measures, harsh measures, and he thinks that this is a crisis that requires a lot of authority and containment, and a regime to be installed, and enforcement mechanism, and lots of accords and contracts, and a whole apparatus of security defense and framework across the multiverse, which I'm sure he's not planning on exploiting at all. Of course, he's the one who's likely going to draft those contracts that he's proposing, and those accords. Anyway, he's proposing a whole almost tyrannical structure of defense, a martial law almost across the entire multiverse. And then you have Love, who accused Timora of playing dirty, of stealing a grimoire and the knowledge that should, well, rightfully have gone to her hands, and she accuses Timora of pretending to be noble and have interests, but she also accuses Timora of corruption and potentially to be playing a game and trying to outsmart everybody with this so-called knowledge. So she's basically calling Timora a bullshitter, a liar, and a deceiver. And then you have heard from Moradin, who said that no matter what anyone says, if that book comes out of the hands of Timora, he's gonna crush their skulls with his anvil and hammer, and that he is going to work to fortify weapons and seals and all defenses across the multiverse, whether the other gods agree with him or not. That's what he's going to do. Then you heard Talos, the god of storms, who said that he was very pleased with the questions that were being asked, and he thinks that he kind of hint that this could be a test from Ao and a test for the gods to overcome, and if they manage to overcome this, maybe they will become more powerful than ever. So he thinks that his policies when he hears Cthulhu wants to come and eat him is, come at me, bro. That's kind of his posture. And as he's trying, take a swing, bro. And as he's trying to convince everybody that the chaos and the storm that will unfold from Cthulhu is welcome, and he's very tough for someone who has no idea what he's up against. And then you heard Tyr threatening Timora, saying that her accusations against Ao without proof and are not harmless, and if she continues to pursue this line, then no matter who you are, then justice will come for you. Then you heard Latender being the kind of a douchebag and trying to patronize everybody else and saying like a presidential type of speech, like, "Oh, we don't meet darkness by surrendering to it. We should build something brighter that can swallow darkness and whatnot," and then made Asmodeus vomit in his mouth. I think that's a good description. You heard Kalimvor saying that he's saying that if something comes to devour all the gods and the death, and they will not just devour the gods, but will devour also the structures that keep the multiverse at the balance of existence, which means that it's not just the gods that are in question here. It's even death may die. That's kind of the implied tone in his speech. And you heard from Helm saying that he kind of agree with Asmodeus that there should be some sort of surveillance, and you guys should, everybody should guard their portals. All the cults should be audited, and a lot of interventionism from the gods, like you never heard before. Usually they try to stay away from mortals and everybody else's business, but this time he's saying that you should have sentries and you should have consequences, and you should not let panic unfold, and you should he agrees with the same idea as Asmodeus, except that he's making it nicer, without all the contracts and the tyranny that comes with it. Then you heard Chronepsis saying that he's a god of time, and time has zero power over whatever this entity from the far realm is, because they live outside time and space. So hearing the god of time saying that he can't do nothing about this is quite a statement that echoed through this assembly. You heard Bahamut saying that the gods should not be playing games, that all the mortals will suffer, and well, if you know anything about gods, is that they need devotion from mortals, so that's kind of a high stakes game for them. Bahamut says that the mortals should be protected at all costs, and that we shouldn't be in denial, we shouldn't be in fear, that we should do that we should stop playing games. And then you heard Lawful throwing a little tantrum and trying to leave and take Grunge with her, but turns out Grunge is still standing here, as early on he kind of learned that the only reason Loth might be in this meeting at all is because he is here, so he may actually have more prestige than her somehow. And then you have Farlan, who seems to say that the way to do this is by naming the cults and mapping the paths that these creatures can come to the multiverse, to your existence, and then cutting the roads so that they cannot travel through it, and that he supports basically a preventive strike against it. So you have quite a few strategies on the table, quite a few different ideas on the table of solutions for this and plans to deal with this. All the gods seem to agree on one thing. There is a threat, and they believe that there is a threat. Most importantly, they all seem to know who you guys are and the fact that you have retrieved this grimoire with this knowledge, and they all seem to know that you have been to the far realm, which is something that none of them can do. So in a way, you went farther than they can ever dream to go, and you came back. So you know things and you've seen things that they couldn't ever dream about. And now you have plenty of options on the table, and they seem to be all kind of waiting for you to decide or for you to advise or counsel on what is your favorite course of action, as they all talked, and Gorbin had clearly sided with Hecate. Malifactor seems to agree with some of the ones that spoke before him, and Redhot is kind of undecided so far. She doesn't have a clear way of address this. Either way, it seems that whatever decision you guys take here, by the way these gods have been behaving throughout the meeting, and the way that they have been almost respectfully going silent every time you speak, it almost feels that whatever you decide here, they might actually just take your advice and go with it. So, as if you had the Minerva vote, strangely enough. So, let me ask the three of you. Given everything you've seen and heard and experienced today, what is your reaction to all this? I think it's time for you guys to have your own little conference. Seems that this conference is, just a satellite thing to the main one, which happens among the four of you.
I'll be straightforward. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
For me, I mean, I would want, in an ideal world, to go with a mixture of studying as much as possible the book and using that to our advantage, and also still, of course, going by what Lady of Luck wants to do. But I think like a mixture of both of them would do good for everyone.
Yep. That sounds good.
Sorry, go for it.
No, go ahead.
I like a mixture of the ideas as well, but after hearing more options, I would be against studying it. It seems this affects minds. It's something that we can't comprehend. I feel like I would lose myself before I could even fully understand this. And that's just a small book. We've seen the images of what that creature can be. It's terrifying. And I feel like if we study it, we could just fall under its will. Who's to say that thing can't just control our minds? And plus, I think the mortals shouldn't know. There should be a select few. But we should act upon this. If they're trying to get into the multiverse, we need to stop that. Otherwise, the balance of what everything is be thrown out. And if you guys remember that vision, there was almost nothing left if that creature ever stepped into our world.
I hear what you're saying, and respectfully, I disagree with your conclusion, because I think that Hecate is right, and we gotta study. Knowledge is power, and the more knowledge we get, the more studying we do, the more we understand, the more we can do to defense, offense, whatever it is needs doing, really, is the way to go for whatever to do the thing to keep everybody more alive.
You saw what it did to your magic. twisted things. Even your temple looked unholy.
Yeah, but did you even try the booze? Because I mean, they were. I'm sure it was unpleasant to look at, and it did fight on the way down. But that's how you know it's fresh, and it was damn tasty.
No, I did not drink it. It grossed me out when I saw that.
Well, I'll just tell you, it was really really tasty. Even when it was fighting to not be swallowed.
It was alive?
I don't know if it was alive. I didn't ask, but it was wriggling. Is all I'm gonna say. On the way down. Yep. Tried to come back up a couple of times, but I got constitution for days.
I think all of us, along with all of these deities here, if they all chip in kind of thing, I'm pretty sure we can find a safe way to learn more about it without it consuming us.
Yep, I volunteer.
I mean, because I don't know what other chance we have, really. It's a strong thing, whatever that is. Not even Chronepsis can do anything about it. It doesn't go by time. So, yeah, I think we need to learn a bit more about it.
Even if it may kill us.
Go ahead, Malifactor.
No, that's it. Like, even if it may kill us, the risk of what will happen to us, even after that first encounter, and we go back in there again.
I was just gonna say that I don't have a strong grasp on time myself, so I'm fine with studying the time nonconformity book.
Well, I did bring something back that we could study. Remember that creature that we killed? I took a piece of its head. This unique substance. And, Legend, I'm gonna take out the obsidian thing.
It's not with you. You are in your astral form.
Oh, right. You're right. Let me retcon. I just realized I'm in astral form. Can I retcon that?
Yes, by all means.
Okay.
It actually happened. You think, you forget, your character forgets he's in astral form, and he tries to pull something, and he realizes, oh shit, I'm in astral form.
Oh crap. Oh yeah, we're not in our physical bodies. My physical body has something I took from the far realm. That obsidian plate. We could probably use that first to study when we get out of here.
Yeah, that could be useful.
I'm just
The answer is more study, more research, more reading, more following Hecate's plan.
But gain favor with it. I guess studying and using it. Won't we just become what they are if we start to use it?
I don't know. How are we gonna find out if we don't do the research, don't do the reading? That's what you gotta do.
I'm just afraid
you gotta figure it out.
Things won't be the same. Once that knowledge is out, everyone's going to be using that.
That's how, that's generally how knowledge works.
And I'm sure you're aware, knowledge can be used in good and bad ways.
Yep.
So we're willing to open Pandora's box.
I don't know who Pandora is, but what you and her do with her box is between you and her.
Oh, I forget you're drunk. It's a parable, meaning all good and all evil. And that opening the box, that means that's just saying that we're allowing this knowledge to be used for good and evil, despite it shouldn't be contained.
Yep. Well, if she doesn't want her box contained, I pass no judgment.
You hear a familiar voice saying,
Now, since you are the only one with true experience in the presence of whatever is to come, Malifactor, I must trust the judgment of my subordinate in this. I'm sure you will not fail my trust. And of course, once we have all that knowledge you talk about, perhaps we can use it to write better accords, and better contracts, and better measures, that all of us might agree upon what true measures can be done. I do tend to agree with the ceasefire and peacekeeping thing as long as you lock the abyss. We have no quarrel with the rest of you that is particularly urgent. We can take our time. It's fine. We can, clear some of the paperwork and the backlog that we have in the Nine Hells. Focus inwards in our own organization and trying to find a more streamlined way of run things. I'm sure we'll be somewhat busy, not interfering with anyone else's business. I do think the proposal for a ceasefire, at least until perhaps a follow-up assembly, where we can hear from these Hellfire Club what it is that they think is the best way to address this threat once they have collected all this very important knowledge. By the rules of AO, then I agree with you, Tybora. The All-Father has his rules, and one of them is unfortunately that we may not look into these matters personally. But through a proxy, yes, we can. Yes, we can. And, well, I will trust you, Malifactor, to be my proxy. Maybe one day you might even have a layer of your own, if you do your job well.
Hearing that gives me reassurance and going like, first we'll gather knowledge, guys. Study and learn, and when we've acquired that, we'll make a decision of what should be used, what shouldn't be used, and what we should do.
And once again, my brilliant plan is the one we go for. I completely agree. If no one is objecting, I think this is the plan to go. No one can trust the plan that doesn't have knowledge of what we are facing. So it's a gamble. I agree, it's a gamble. I am willing to gamble with Gorbin's mind and sanity. I am truly committed to Gorbin's ability to deal with whatever sort of madness is found in this obscure knowledge which we cannot ourselves deal with. But, I have to say, as models,
I think you are just fan of a little bit of gambling. Yeah, I think you're just doing this because you want to gamble a little bit. Well, you're almost as good of a bluffer as I am.
You hear that? Yep, that's right. Let's roll them dice. Let's see where this goes. Let's do this thing. Whatever it is. What are we doing again?
It seems that you have agreed to study the knowledge that comes from this forbidden tome. Learn everything you can about this entity that threatens us all. And once you do, we must have another assembly like this one to discuss what we shall do with the knowledge you've learned. What is the best plan to deter this threat? And in the meantime, I hear no objections to a ceasefire among all the hour planes. Until we have our next assembly, the ceasefire must hold. No interference with each other's business. No games until we know what we're dealing with. After all, I assure you, none of you will want to exhaust resources when you might need every single drop of it for what is to come. And regarding the threat tier, I don't appreciate you talking to me about justice. I have been very supportive of your skewed view of justice and your skewed view of chance across the multiverse and across your domain. And I have seen what justice you apply blindly and sometimes unfairly. So don't talk to me about what Allfather teaches us or not. I have my free will granted by him so that I can use it to challenge even his rules if necessary. Otherwise, why would he give it to me? Perhaps you should start to exercise yours as well. I call this assembly adjourned.
Point of order. I mean, like I agree with all that, but I just want to have on the record that you guys are gonna have a proper bar for the next time, and you're gonna let that elephant out.
As you say, you guys should have a proper bar. And in a blink of an eye, as if it all had been a woken dream, you find yourselves on an empty tavern. Inside this empty tavern, where you hear music being played in the background, kind of happy music. You don't see anyone around, but it does feel like a celebratory music. And the whole place seems empty, yet mugs with drinks come flying and come flying towards you, almost as if through telekinesis, and sit on the table in front of you, serving all of you your favorite drink, as if whoever is serving you knew all along what your hearts desire. And the four of you are sitting on this bar, and you hear song despite there's no one around. You hear chatter despite there is no one around. And as you look at yourselves, you realize that you are still in your astral form. This is probably just another place in the astral plane. There is a table with cards and gambling around, and, well, that's how you notice, Gorbin, that this is probably some sort of demi-plane that Hecate set up for you guys to, have a private chat before you get back to your bodies, whatever they are, because, well, only Hecate would put a bar in front of a gambling table.
Yeah, this is more like it.
I'll be damned.
Yeah, you probably will, but that's beside the point. But I mean, this is what I'm talking about. See, this is why Hecate is the best, because she gets it. She gets it. You gotta give people what they want, and that's the booze. They want the booze because it just makes everything better.
And I have to say, a sip of this astro booze, and that is really good booze. It's so dreamy. The taste is so dreamy.
Yeah, I imagine it makes Gorbin taste some of those extra colors without even having to take any of his boozy shrooms.
Yep.
What does it taste like for someone with my immunity?
It tastes.
Does that apply in astral form?
Not necessarily. It tastes like the drink you dreamt about drinking your whole life. And you didn't even know it. It's like if you could dream with the best booze in the multiverse, and someone actually crafted that would be what's in your cup.
Rare privilege that I may only get once in my lifetime.
And Redhot, I have to ask, what is in your cup? Redhot, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
A cocktail of some sort with lots of fruits, staying healthy, but definitely boozed in there as well.
Very well.
To help me get over whatever happened there.
So as you see this very strange and complicated arrangement of fruits that climb above the mug in a weirdly colorful cocktail that Redhot drinks from a straw. And the two of you drink your respective drinks that don't look as colorful as that one. And Grunge seems to be drinking something that bubbles weird, as if it was green lava. And he seems to enjoy it. It's particularly tasteful. So, you agree to study the book. And the book is with Tymora. And Tymora seemed to have agreed to provide you the book for you to study. So, and seems you guys have some private time to decide how you want to proceed with this. So I have to ask you, how do you want to proceed with this?
Well, I guess before I even say the book, I'll say to Redhot, it says, well, it looks like our gods are in some ingredients as well. While it hurts what you did personally, it's good to know the ones we worship want us to work together.
I guess it wasn't that bad after all, was it? And I'm sipping more of my drink. Not sipping, downing.
Oh, of course. It's just, if I fail, you're going to get a portion of that. Share the punishment with me since we're a group now, right? You're not going to say you're with us, right?
Wait, say that again?
I'll say, in case we fail, you'll share that punishment, right? Instead of just us believing and saying you're with us like last time, you were actually a group, right?
Yeah, of course.
Can I insight that, Legend?
Yes, by all means.
Do I have to roll?
You can roll either persuasion or deception, depending on how much fun you want to have with this. He rolled a 31 on insight.
Give me a second, please. Mine is rolling. Still rolling. As in still rolling, it's still loading. Yeah, in the meantime, thank you.
Gorbin has downed his entire drink and is tapping the top of the bar for a refill.
And one, as you look down, Gorbin, just like your wonderful mug, the moment you look down, you realize that it's already filled back up.
Fantastic.
Isn't that amazing? It's the fastest service in any tavern.
Just to double check, we are still in astral form, right?
Yes.
We're
yes,
not like back on the material plane?
No,
Okay.
you are in astral form and you think you are in some sort of outer plane or something like that.
Gotcha. All right.
I am, for some reason, it's not loading on my side. It's just saying, whoops, we rolled a 1.
It's alright. I'll just assume, because you have a high modifier, I'll just go with I believe you. Alright.
You said you roll a nat 1?
Okay. No, the D&D is just not rolling. Loading. I'm saying that again.
Oh, okay.
It says, and I've got an error. Oops, we rolled a 1 on our authentication check, so...
Yeah, I'll just keep going with the role playing, then assuming that she passed. Then, so and then moving forward, that says, "All right, well, now we've volunteered and signed up to be basically the knowledge of wealth of the far realm to all the gods. At least I know if we do well, there's a reward for me. I hope."
And
Yep.
And Malifactor, it seems you may just have gotten a promotion, because as you now work. I mean, you're talking directly to Asmodeus, not with Belial and Fierna anymore. I mean, they were not even in the meeting. You wonder if you wonder how your relationship with them is going to play out.
Well, Belial didn't seem to, mention something to Asmodeus. Plus, why would he need to know about my advancement opportunities when I'm going above him? This is a good opportunity for me.
Very devilish of you. Very well. While the three of you are in the bar, you hear the voice of Hecate as she echoing through the place, as she says,
"Hi everyone, I hope you're enjoying the booze. I'm going to gamble a little bit. Take your time, and we're gonna send you back to your bodies really soon. I'm just sorting some things out. Just wanted to tell you, there is well, how can I say? There is there is a logistic thing with the book. So you will have to come to a safe place to study. And I'm gonna send you some coordinates to it, or maybe Time Lord will. And you're gonna have to come to this safe place to study. And by safe place we mean a place that
you can open this book and it's not gonna, it's not gonna cause too much trouble and too much, it's not gonna ripple across the multiverse, which means, it might not be a pleasant place, but still, might be the only safest place for you to open this book without potentially creating an issue. So, and you can all study together and learn the things that this thing has to teach, and then you can come and tell us all the, all the good gossip, and we'll give you some time, and once you're back in your bodies, we'll send you the address, okay? So you can, you can get there. So I'm gonna sit down with Asmodeus, because I know we used to gamble together, so we kinda know each other. I mean, I'm not his biggest fan because, and he's not my biggest fan because he lost one too many times for me. He's a terrible poker player compared to me, of course. But I just wanna say, we gotta find some sort of arrangement, okay? Time more of myself, Asmodeus, and I'm gonna try to talk to Wolf, although she's a bit of a bitch. But, we're gonna try and find a common ground. And, for your time, for your study time, and for you to be able to do your homework without anyone, messing with you. Is that okay?
That sounds good. I have one other request, if you may. When I'm back to my body, I managed to acquire a unique material in the far realm, and I heard one of those people, I don't know who, is able to forge weapons and such. Possibly he could create something for me with that raw material I brought back.
You mean more of them? I mean, you can always ask, but good luck on you. That's a god. He is not gonna touch anything from the far realm because he doesn't want to make the All-Father, our creator, Ao, the over-god of everything and everybody, all pissed off at him, because then he kinda gets a big time out. So I suspect he's not gonna be very willing to help me with this, but maybe there are others. There are not as capable as more of them, but almost, and could potentially help you. Why not, right? Anyway, just wanted to let you guys know what are the next steps, and for you to figure out where you're going. Enjoy your booze. And Gorbin.
Yep. Thank you very much for that. For the booze. Oh, sorry, I did not mean to interrupt.
It's fine.
Please proceed.
Have your booze. If you need me, just give me a holler.
I just wanted to say that I'm very, very much thank you for the booze, and I think your plan is fantastic, and you are doing it up great. You're just doing the best job. You're knocking it out. You're really doing so good. Thank you for that.
I know. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's nice to be acknowledged for my brilliance. I appreciate it. I mean, I don't like Mr. I'm killing it. Oh, too soon.
I don't mean to criticize, but maybe just don't. Maybe just don't talk bad about Mr. She was so good.
Oh, you still have a crush on her. That's nice. That's cute. That's fine. I won't talk about her.
It still hurts. Is all I'm saying.
too soon. I get it. I am no amount of booze can ever fix a broken heart, dear. Well, but you know I can, right? A new crush.
And her voice ceases to echo through this place. And the four of you are in this bar, and you have some time to discuss anything you might want to discuss before getting back to your bodies, because in this place doesn't seem like anyone can hear you, which means that Asmodeus cannot spy on your thoughts, Malifactor. Hecate will only hear you if you call her by the name, Gorbin. And Redhot, even Timora, may not be able to hear you in this demi-plane. So my question to all of you, and especially for Grunge, this is particularly useful advantage, as he seems to have over Love the ability of not having her spying on him at this point. So you are in a safe place to discuss, and on this place I will leave you until our next session, when you can tell us what you have discussed and how you have used this tactical advantage in your favor. Maybe you make a plan of your own. Maybe you go with the plan of the gods. Maybe, you do nothing. You just have fun and drink and gamble a little bit, so you can blow off some steam before you go on a mission that could potentially make you mad or completely obliterate you. Up to you guys. You can tell us next session what you've decided to do. And with that,
Just want to say now or never. You can only punch me now, because after, no. It's here. Now or never.
let's see with Grunge in the next session if he decided to punch you. And
Okay.
very well. And we'll conclude this session here. For all of you watching us and following up this episode, thanks so much for being with us. It's a pleasure having you here. Despite the off schedule, we actually had a few people following us all throughout the stream, so I appreciate that. And